Hello everyone and welcome to this our weekly session of our market rundown, where we are going to be looking at a rundown of the market, and we are going to be looking at what we had last week and what we are going to be looking out for this week. So please be advised that these are just my own opinions, and these does not in any way represent financial advice. So please always do your own research, always do your own analysis before trading. Okay, so last week we had a very busy week for the US dollar with the release of the NFP, the early earnings, and the unemployment rate. So we had a very busy week on the pair, and we had two positive data, and the NFP was negative. So we had a positive data for unemployment rate and for early earnings, and we had a negative data for NFP. So we saw price on the US dollar quickly move to the downside and then regain all the losses before the close of the day, right? So we talked about this in our session where we always come and then we look at the market. So by the way, if you're new to the channel, please make sure that you check the link in the description box. You check the channel, the Telegram link in the description box, and you join our Telegram channel where we share a lot of insightful ideas on on technical analysis, and also we share a lot of content on trading psychology as well, because we understand that for you to become a successful trader you need a well-rounded mindset and also a good methodology for your trading. Also, you also need a good platform, right? And so with platforms, we have Xness that covers that for us. If you don't have an account, if you don't have an Exness account, please check the link in the description box and you create your account. There are videos that will guide you in the channel how to create your account with Xness, how to fund, and how to verify your account. So we are going to be looking at a rundown on the US dollar, that is the DXY. We are going to be looking at GBP USD. We are going to be looking at gold, and we are also going to be looking at Euro USD. So we are going to be taking a look at these four pairs, right? So personally, these are the pairs that I trade, and I mostly trade gold. So if you have any questions, or if you have any contributions to make, please you can always do that in the comment section. Or maybe if you have something that you want us to talk about, you can also drop a comment in the comment section and we are going to look at that together. So when I was looking at looking at the USD today, I realized a very important point here, right? So we have this important higher time frame, that is the daily time frame trend line from here, crossing from here, right? And this point has successfully held price, right? So this is the second time we are seeing price coming into this particular point, and we have seen price get rejected again massively from that point. And so I am looking at the possibility of a double bottom on the dollar index. And what this means is that the pullback that we had, right? So maybe this was just a pullback on the dollar index, and we are going to have our dominant trend, which was previously an uptrend, is going to continue going up. Okay, so now what I'm looking out for is to see more buys on the USD, because I have a pattern here that gives me a clue, right? I have a pattern here that gives me a clue that price wants to continue to the upside, right? So that is what I'm seeing on the DXY. So please, if you have something else that you're seeing, I have said you're always welcome to share that with us, right? You're always welcome to share that with us. So right here, if I go down to a smaller time frame, let us look at it on a smaller time frame to really see what price action is telling us, right? So on the 4-hour time frame, we can clearly see that we've had a break above this immediate uh, we've had a break above this our immediate resistance trend line. Okay, and a break above it is telling us that we could continue seeing the DXY or the US dollar push to the upside. Okay, now, this is the double bottom that we're talking about, or that we are talking about on the higher time frame. So you know, also need to know that if you're trading patterns such as this double bottom, it does not mean that we must have a perfect rounded bottom. Okay, so we could see it exhibit this type of behavior where one leg is lower and the other leg is higher. So you always need to make sure that you take note of that and look at it from here again on the daily. On the 4 hour time frame, we also have a double bottom formed on this uh, trend line from here. So we have a double bottom forming on a trend line and we see price push to the upside, right? So it is giving us confirmation that we could possibly continue to see price push to the upside, right? So I would say we've had a break above this our immediate resistance point from here, and so it is probable that we could see price continue to push to the up, and so we could see price continue to push to the upside. Okay, now let us look at the 1 hour time frame and see what the 1 hour is telling us. Okay, now we have price failing to break above this trend line, right? So this is what we call a break and retest of a trend line. So we've had price break and it is retesting. And what will we say? We in our previous videos on trend lines and support and resistance, right? So we have two types of support and resistance. We have parallel support and resistance, which is trend line support and resistance, and we also have horizontal support and resistance. So we say that in an uptrend, the possibility for resistance to get broken and for support to get maintained is higher, right? Be it horizontal or parallel. So we've seen a break above this trend line from here, right? And we are seeing it being maintained. So resistance gets broken and support gets maintained. So that is what we are saying. So a broken resistance point, is likely to become support and so could likely push the market further to the upside. So a broken trend line support or resistance zone could also become a a, a, a resistance, right? A resistance can become support, and support can also become uh, resistance, and vice versa. So you always need to take note of that. So that is what we are seeing here. We are seeing a good retest of this our trend line. If this retest holds, then we are going to be seeing price continue to do something like that. So we also need to make sure to keep at the back of our minds that price action is dynamic. And what do you mean? Do we mean by price action is dynamic? So we are trading a volatile market where anything can happen at any particular point in time. And so we also need to know that at any point in time we could see price instead of continuing to the upside, we see it break below, right? We could see it fail to continue but breaks below and it continues to drop. So in essence, what I am saying is that I am bullish on the US dollar, but I'm also keeping an open mind because I understand that price action is dynamic and anything can happen. I did not make that law, right? So that is the nature of the market. That is just how the market is. Okay, now let us look at gold. Let us look at what we have on gold. So we've been in a very powerful uptrend on gold for a very long period of time, right? And all we needed to do on gold, as we see gold in an uptrend, is to make sure that we look for more buying opportunities, right? It is always good to go with the trend. We always say the trend is your friend. So the first thing as a trader is you being able to identify the trend in which you are in. So we always try to talk about trends at the beginning of every session because an understanding of your trend already puts you far ahead as far as technical is concerned. Okay, So when you just understand that we are in an uptrend, and you understand and you're disciplined enough to trade only in the direction of the trend, you have already given yourself about a 70% chances of winning on your trade, right? So if you look at the price of gold right now, we are looking at it on the daily time frame, and you can clearly see that if you are a trader who has been taking buys on gold these past days, right, you will be making more money than somebody who has been looking for selling opportunities. So always flow in direction with the trend. There is one example that I like to always use. When you see the fish in water swim, you always make sure that they swim in direction with the trend, with the current, right? And it is the same thing. If you want to swim against the current, it becomes so difficult for you to swim against the current. But if you swim with the current, you flow easily with it. Same as when you see birds fly in the air. When they fly in direction with the wind, they fly effortlessly. But when they fly against the wind, you're going to realize that they fly with so much difficulty. So it is the same thing when you come here. When you trade, please trade in direction with the trend. Understand the trend and flow with it, right? It is the same thing with our lives. So when life is taking you up, instead of you forcing things, you go in direction with it, and when life takes you down, you go in it. So you're no longer forcing things in life, you're in flow with it. So the down moments are usually the moments where we should be learning our lessons, right? This is where life teaches us a lot of lessons. So when you're at a low point in your life, when you're at a rock bottom, you should always try to figure out what life is trying to teach you, and to always fish out the seed of equivalent benefit in every failure, in every setback. So when you take a loss in the market as well, you are not feeling like the world is against you, but you learn from that mistake, and you use that to propel yourself to the upside. So when price drops against you, you use it to fuel yourself to the upside. All right. So on gold, we have been on a powerful uptrend, and something interesting on the 4 hour uh, strikes my attention. So if you want to be on a safe side, right? If you want to be on a safe side, we should be looking for more buying opportunities on gold, right? So we should be looking for more opportunities. When I look at the 4 hour chart, I can spot a double top from here, right? So the first top, the second top, which is usually a pattern that signifies bearish reversal. It appears at the top of an uptrend, indicating that the market could possibly shift and start selling. Okay, so on gold, I'm looking at that possibility, but since we are still in an uptrend, I am looking forward to seeing it break below this point. Okay, so let me look at that point. I'm waiting to see it break below this point, this psychological level where it is trading on right now. That is 2860.00, right? uh I'm looking forward to seeing price break below that support area, right, and also to break below this trend line and maybe give a retest to confirm that we should be selling gold at that particular point in time. Okay, now if we don't get a break out of that point, but we get confirmations of that, we could see price push back to the upside, then we'll be looking for more buying opportunities. So mind you, we are still in an uptrend on gold, and so it is always advisable to look for trades in direction with the trend. Okay, so let us look at the 1 hour chart and see a bigger picture of it. Okay, now, so what I'm saying in essence is that if I get a break up below this point where price is being supported at immediately, and also a break below this immediate uh, support trend line from here, then we'll be waiting for a retest and maybe drop. But if you don't have that retest, okay, you can also apply what is called a trend following method to scale in on your trades. But if you're somebody who is patient enough, we could wait for it to either bounce off from here and come, and whatever it decides to show us, right? So we're always waiting to see what price is giving us or what price is showing us before we go. So always watch out for price action, okay? So always watch out for price action on your points of interest, right? So the reason why we draw out these points of interest, support and resistance, trend lines, other blocks, is to watch out for how price is going to react on those points. So you're waiting to see how price reacts on that point, and from the way price reacts on that point, you're going to know if price is going to hold or if it is going to break through, and should you be looking for trading opportunities, or you should continue waiting, or you should be applying different methods in the market. And so if we see confirmations from here that price is not going to drop, and how are we going to see it? We are going to see it through the candlesticks that are going to form at this point. Okay, that is what is going to show us. So I usually tell people that when you get into a field, you should always try, or you would have to learn the language of that field. So if you're going into the chemistry department, you need to learn the language of that field. You need to be versed with the periodic table and stuff like that. And if you go into, let's say, a carpentry profession, you want to become a carpenter, there are some things that you need to learn. There are some languages that they use. And so when you come into forex trading, also, you need to know the language that the market speaks. And the language that the market speaks is through the candlesticks that you see here. And we call it price action. Okay. So that is what you're watching out for. You're watching out to see what the market is telling you, and when the market gives you a confirmation, you follow. But if the market does not give a confirmation, then you let go and you wait further. All right. So if we see bearish candles begin to form here when the market opens and starts to form below, right, and begins to drop, okay, now it gives us confirmation that price is going to drop. But if we fail to break below that particular point, but we see bullish confirmations here, right? We see bullish confirmations, then we are going to say that we could get a pullback maybe to this point. So this is a good 1 hour order block that we have from here, and it is probable also that we could see price pullback to that point. All right, but we also have we know that price action is dynamic, and what we are doing is not trying to predict price. Okay, we are not trying to predict price. We are using this level to guide us, right? We are using these levels to guide us. So anytime you try to predict price, you're going to end up in trouble. So always let price show you what it wants to do, then you can follow. So that is what I'll be looking out on gold. Please, you're always free to share your own thoughts in the comment section, and I'll be very glad to learn from you as well. All right. Okay. So on gold, we are looking out for to see to seeing a confirmations for either a buy or a sell on Monday. So on GBP USD, right, there is also an important phenomenon here, right? So you're going to notice that we have price acting on this psychological level here, on this psychological level, which is 25,000. So this point has been key in resisting more higher prices on GBP USD. We've seen price go up to it, face resistance, and it drops. So it has been a very good point of interest, right? And after we saw a break of retest and retest of that point, right? So we saw a break and retest of it. So every time price gets into it, it gets rejected. So if you don't know how to use psychological levels, you can also check out the video on support and resistance. That is the video that we did. I worked out a method on which we could use psychological levels to draw out our support and resistance. And it is because I've noticed that price usually plays around a lot around these levels, right? So you can see how beautifully that played out on it. And also we have a very good trend line that is crossing from that point, right? So there is a very good trend line that is crossing from that point on the daily time frame. So we have price acting on that point, on that psychological level or that resistance level, and it is also acting on a trend line, and it has given us double tops from that point. So a double top is a pattern that occurs at the top of an uptrend, indicating that price would likely shift to the downside. So after giving that double top from there, we have seen price push to the downside, right? And so we have the DXZ or the DX, we have the DXY, right, or the US dollar uh, giving us a double bottom, indicating to us that it might probably continue in its uptrend. Then we have we have GBP USD giving us a double top, and then indicating to us that it might continue in its downtrend. And so I will be looking for more selling opportunities on GBP USD come Monday. So I already have my analysis done, and so I am just waiting for the market to open, and then watch out for price action on these points. So I always like to let people know that always keep an open mind, right? So at this point, you're going to realize that we could also have a possible break and retest of this point, and you see price dance around that point. So always have rules around your trading, and I always make out my rules or my approach or my plan. Okay, my plan depending on what the market is showing me. So if the market is showing me something I am planning depending on what the market is showing me at that particular moment. And so my plan is to see price break below this point and give us reasons to continue. Or if we see price hold here, we could see it instead reverse to the upside, right? But now I am more bearish on it. So I'm more I'm more on the bearish side for this trade. Okay, so I'm more on the bearish side for this particular trade on GBP USD. So I have this other analysis here. So if you notice, will see me switching from different switching between different charts, right? It's because I do my analysis often on different charts. It allows me to practice without taking away what I have done in the other charts, right? So I'm looking forward to see more sales on it. We've had a good break of this trend line from here. We had a good break below, a break, and we've seen a retest already, and so we could continue to push down on GBP USD. So that is what I'm looking out for on GBP USD come Monday or next week when price opens. Okay, so that is what we are going to be looking out for. Now, the last pair that we are going to be looking out on, we are going to be talking on is Euro USD. And there is one thing that you should note about Euro USD. If you have noticed, right? If you have noticed, or if you have not noticed, the price of Euro and GBP USD are co-related. So it means that what happens on USD, on GBP USD, or GU is likely to happen on EU as well. So when you're trading these pairs, you need to know that you cannot be buying one and selling one at the same time. Okay, so most likely when GBP USD is selling, Euro USD is also going to be selling as well. When Euro USD is buying, GBP USD is going to be buying as well. So you need to make sure you note this correlation. There are other pairs that have these same relations that we see on GBP, on GU, and on EU. Okay, so you need to note that as well. So for EU, I am also looking for selling opportunities. Okay, I'm also looking for selling opportunities. Excuse me. I'm also looking for selling opportunities, right? So we've already seen price begin to smash most of our support levels, and it is maintaining that as resistance. So on the daily time frame, right, I'm looking forward to seeing price drop, right? So we've seen a break below this our trend line from here. So one thing that I want to let you know also is that trend lines are subjective. What do I mean by trend lines are subjective? You can apply them depending on the phase or the situation or the scenario or on what the market is showing you at that particular point in time. So there is no clear way of saying that draw it like that and draw it like that. That is what I found out also. So check out the video on how to draw trend lines properly, and you are going to learn a lot from that as well. Okay, if you're not in the Telegram channel, also make sure to join the Telegram channel. The link is always in the description. So our Telegram channel is easy EasyFX 007, and this is the only EasyFX 007 that we have. Any other one is fake. Okay, so I'm saying that we have seen price begin to smash below these our support levels, and so we could see a retest and drops on price. So let us go down to a smaller time frame and we look at that, right? So I'm going to also be showing you something very important on euro. So let me go down to the 1 hour time frame. It is more visible on the 1 hour time frame. So if you look at GBP, or if you look at euro USD, you're going to notice that we have it reacting on this good point from here, right? We have it reacting from this point from here after a break of that point. But if I look below above it, I can also spot a very important trend line from here, right? And a psychological level, that is 1.03500 line at that point. And so it is a good point where the market could react to. It is a good point where the market could react to. And so on this pair, on Euro USD, I'm looking forward to see the market exhibit something like this, right? That is what people will call a stop loss clearance, right? I'm looking forward to seeing price do something maybe like this, clear liquidity above this point, because all those who have their stop losses hanging around here will provide, that is all liquidity being provided to the market, right? So if I see price break come to somewhere like this, it is good for me to take that trade. And one thing that you're going to notice is that the best trades that occur in the market occur after liquidity has been swept, after stop losses have been swept in the market. All right, that is when some of the best trades occur in the market. So you can go and check that out also, and you let me know. So if we see a move like that, it is going to offer us good selling opportunities on Euro USD, right? But also we could also see a continuous drop. So being mindful of the fact that price action is dynamic and anything can happen, we could also see a scenario where we fail to break, but we continue to the upside. Okay, so always be mindful of all these scenarios so that you're well prepared and you're doing what is called informed trading. So once you're doing what is called informed trading, the market does not uh, catch you wanting in the market, right? So you're doing what is called informed trading, and your informed trading is going to come with the analysis that you have done, the work that you have put in, and everything that you have done to support your decisions in the market, right? So looking at this chart also, I'm also looking more bearish on the US on Euro USD. Okay, so that is what I am looking for. That is what I'm looking out for this coming week on this pair. If you also have a pair that you want us to do analysis on, please comment in write in the comment section that pair, and also we also welcome your ideas and your opinions. Okay, we are always open to welcoming those opinions. So if you are new to the channel also, we also like to talk about the pillars of successful trading. So when you come into the trading, there are three pillars on which you are going to have to build on. You build on platform. The first is platform. Okay. So the first one is platform. The second one is your methodology. Your methodology will incorporate your technicals. Okay, methodology. Okay, that is what that is the method, your technicals. And the third one is your mindset and psychology. Okay, your mindset and psychology. So once one of these is lacking, once one of these is lacking, you're going to realize that there is a big problem. And so there's always need for you to have a balance in all of these. And this is what we teach in our mentorship program. So for platform, there is a link in the description, a link to the platform that we use, that is Exness. If you don't have an account yet, you can click on that link and you create your account. Also on the channel, we have a lot of content on how to create deposit and on how to navigate the platform. So when it comes to platform, we have platforms like Exness, we have MT4, MT5. You can also check out the videos on how to use MT4 and MT5. So methodology is going to incorporate what we have called technical analysis and fundamental analysis. That is going to incorporate into your methodology. It is also going to incorporate risk management as well. And then last pillar that you're going to build on is mindset and psychology. And with mindset and psychology, you're going to also have to deal with emotions. You're going to learn how your emotions affect your trading as well. So those are the three pillars that you need to build on for a successful journey. So I always like to tell people that the way you start, the foundations on which you start building on is going to determine how far you go in your trading journey. Okay, so you need to start building on the right foundations. And so you're going to realize that the mindset that you bring into trading, right, the mindset that you bring into trading is not the mindset that brings you consistent profitability. And so there is also a video that talks about beginners mindset and having the right and on how having the right beginners mindset will guide your journey in the financial market. A lot of people fail a lot of people fail because they come in and they think that trading is a get rich quick scheme, whereas is a slow process. Okay, so the right mindset also determines how far you are going to go on your journey as a forex trader. Okay, so guys, I hope that you've learned something from this, and also please don't forget to drop your comments and your own ideas on all of this. Tell me what you think on all of the pairs that we have looked at, and I'll be also willing to learn from you as well. So I wish you all the best in the trading week coming up. May the trading gods always guide your journey. I wish you all the best again in your trading journey, and God bless you all. Bye bye.